Lord Shiva is often associated with Tantra in Indian spiritualism. Mahadev holds a very special place in Hindu traditions. His attributes are unique. His way of life is far away from ordinary. He sometimes lives in Kailash and sometimes in cremation grounds. Shiva is the cosmic dancer, Nataraj. He is the epitome of self-regulation, the ascetic, and of course, the guru of yogis. He is the destroyer of creation and the embodiment of cosmic consciousness. I am very curious to know why Mahadev is considered to be the guru of an esoteric practice like Tantra. At the same time, it would be very interesting to know what the masculine and feminine principles of Tantra actually are and how Mahadev relates to these concepts. So without further delay, let's dive into this topic. Stay with me. In Hindu traditions, Shiva is considered the ultimate guru. In the case of Tantra also, Lord Shiva is believed to be the original guru. If legends are to be believed, it can be said that in Hindu tradition, Mahadev holds the position of guru in various ways. He is known as Adi Guru for teaching spirituality. Indian classical dance is also deeply influenced by the Tandav dance of Mahadev or Nataraj. The rhythm of his cosmic dance represents creation, preservation and destruction. Not only this, the ideal of the family system in Indian society, which is built around marriage, is inspired by Mahadev, his wife Parvati and their children, an ideal Indian family. Finally, Mahadev is the master of Tantra. Tantra is believed to have originated in a conversation between Shiva and his wife Parvati. Tantric beliefs and philosophy began to be revealed through their question and answer sessions. Therefore, Mahadev's importance as a guru in the world of Tantra is immense. The Tantric literature is generally called Agam literature. Its main three categories are Shaiva Agam, Vaishnava Agam and Shakta Agam. The number of Shaiva Agam is 28. 10 Shiva Agam and 18 Rudra Agam. These are also the foundation of Kashmiri Shaiva Tantra. Each Agam has 4 divisions, namely Charyapad, Kriyapad, Yogapad and Jnanapad. These Agamas discuss the nature of the Supreme and how one can reach that ultimate truth. Needless to say, the central deity of Shaiva Agam is Lord Shiva. Although Tantra Shastras are mainly divided into 3 sects, Shaiva, Vaishnava and Shakta, these days we generally believe that Tantra is all about Shakti worship. In this video also, we will mostly focus on Shakta Tantra. As mentioned earlier, the main deity of Shaiva Agam is Mahadev. But in Shakta Tantra also, where Devi, the embodiment of primordial energy, is the main driving force, Mahadev occupies a unique place. Psychologist Dr. Geert Hofstede published his Cultural Dimensions model to systematically understand different cultures in the late 1970s. According to this model, it is possible to understand the reasons for the differences between any two cultures through the in-depth study of 6 dimensions. One of these 6 dimensions is masculinity versus femininity. It means which of these two forces drives a society, masculinity or femininity, which one has more influence. The more masculine a society is, the more men and women have to behave according to their gender roles. That is, men will generally display so-called masculine traits, so will women. Feminine society, on the other hand, gives people much more freedom to express themselves. This type of society believes that character traits cannot always be defined based on gender. Women can have so-called masculine traits such as leadership, courage, rationality, and ambition. Men may also possess some feminine characteristics such as compassion, creativity, emotion, and intuition. So what it implies is that regardless of gender, each individual owns both so-called masculine and feminine traits. However, the level of influence might vary from person to person. Tantra says almost the same thing, not exactly but almost. According to Shakta Tantra, Shiva and Shakti coexist within every living being. Shiva is the masculine principle that resides in the body as pure consciousness and gives stability to a person. Prakriti or nature, on the other hand, revolves around that consciousness as an ever-changing element. For example, our bodies have changed so much since our childhood. Still, we know the individual that was living inside the body at the age of 6 is the same individual as I am today. In spite of the numerous changes in our bodies, the conscious being within us gives us a stable idea of self that we call I. The 10 Mahavidyas of Tantra are various manifestations of this ever-active and ever-changing feminine principle. Shiva, on the other hand, is the stable masculine principle of Tantra. To make it simple, we can see Purusha as nature and Prakriti as nurture, even though it's an oversimplified explanation. The combined form of Shiva and Shakti is Satchidananda. Shiva, the conscious aspect of God, is the Nirgun Ishwar, and Shakti, the creative aspect of God, is the Sagun Ishwar. And this idea comes from Sankhya philosophy. These Shiva and Shakti, that is masculine and feminine principles, can be understood in another way. Shiva and Shakti are the same, two different forms of the same entity. If the apparently inactive or corpse-like Shiva becomes active, he is Shakti. And if the dominant Shakti becomes inactive, she is Shiva. There is no difference. Let's try to understand it like this. Potential energy always exists in stationary objects. On the other hand, when that object comes in motion, the energy in it is known as kinetic energy. However, it is good to mention that I am not trying to reconcile science and philosophy, nor am I an expert on this subject. This is just an example. The ultimate goal of a worshipper of Shakti Tantra lies in the union of the feminine and masculine principles. Tantra believes that the human body has 7 chakras, the lowest chakra being the Muladhara chakra and the highest chakra being the Sahasrara chakra. According to Tantric belief, Kundalini, the symbol of feminine principle, lies dormant in the Muladhara chakra. And if awakened, it moves upward and finally merges into the crown or Sahasrara chakra, which is the symbol of Shiva. This union of Shiva and Shakti is considered the highest level of spiritual awakening. In other words, every person has some feminine and some masculine characteristics. If the two can be properly balanced, personal and spiritual development is achieved. Although Shakta Tantra is primarily goddess-centric, it is incomplete without Mahadev. We find from the Puranas that when Sati's body parts were scattered in different places, the Shaktipethas were formed. Although there is much disagreement about the number of the Shaktipethas, it is generally believed that the number is 51. Now in each of these 51 Shaktipethas, one Bhairava is present as the protector of the Pith. This Bhairava is none other than the various forms of Mahadev. For example, in the Hinglach temple in faraway Pakistan, the form of the goddess is known as Kotari and the Bhairava is Bhimlochan. Some locals call it Nanika Hajj. In the neighboring country to the north, Nepal, we can find the Gujjeshwari temple, whose Bhairava is Kapali. However, Nepal is basically the land of Pashupatinath. Prayag, one of India's holiest places, houses goddess Lalita and her Bhairav is Bhava. In Kurukshetra, the goddess is known as Savitri and Bhairava is Snayu or Sthanu. Kurukshetra is special because Kurukshetra is called Dharmakshetra in Bhagavad Gita. Neighboring country to the east, Bangladesh, has several Shaktipethas, one of which is Joshureshwari in Jessore with Chandra, Chand or Chandesh as the Bhairava. Sri Lanka is home to goddess Indrakshi and the Bhairava is Rakshaseshwar. Finally, it can be said that in people's belief, in scriptures, and even in religious places, wherever there is Shakti, there is Shiva. As these two cannot be separated because both are incomplete without each other. Hope everyone liked this video. In that case, please like and share the video and subscribe to the channel. I regularly share my journey on Instagram. You can follow me there too. Ending here today. See you again with a new story.